Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Bahamut, one of your casters this evening. I am joined by the wonderful Cat Peach. How are you? Are you ready for these games?
I am super ready for these games. We've seen the past couple weeks. So gillyShark was new to Division A. They were kind of nervous about it, and they've been holding their own in the division pretty well. So I'm curious to see if we continue to see that tonight, or if Wholesome Halfwits is the team to finally knock gillyShark down a couple maps.
We'll see. gillyShark has been a very, very strong power within the Division A, and as noted, this is going to be a Division A matchup, which will be a best of 3. This is not the only Division A matchup we have in front of you this evening. It's going to also be having Once Bitten, Thrice Pie versus the members of Few Loose Screws, and that's going to be coming up at 7 o'clock. But before we get into any of that, I think, Cat Peach, the important thing is let's talk about some map bans, because the members of gillyShark lost the coin flip, as always, but we just have to always highlight that.
Typical gillyShark.
Wholesome Halfwits won the coin flip and opted for first pick overall. They banned out Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. Braxis Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity were banned out by the members of gillyShark, and Cursed Hollow will be our first map chosen by them. We actually saw them last week on Cursed Hollow running it in 7 minutes and 20 seconds, and that was probably the quickest I've ever seen that map being played. So I'm really, really excited to see what they're going to be bringing to the table, because that was obviously a casted match, so the enemy team knows. Like, Cat Peach, they know that was an option that was brought to the table. Is that going to be happening here? Do we get Juice Pirates? Do we get just a standard comp? We'll find out. But bans so far really, really strong. What are you feeling for the start here?
Well, I'm curious from the bans. Number one, I think this is the first time we haven't seen Samuro banned out against gillyShark, so that's curious. First pick Falstad on Cursed Hollow. It's a big old map. I support this decision entirely.
Oh.
There's the Samuro and there's the Abathur. So pretty standard there. Kagekiri, always the Abathur player for the team. It seems very well versed in that hero. Samuro pulling off the table. I always had wondered if Samuro made it through, if maybe gillyShark wouldn't pick him up. I honestly have been curious, and I guess today's not that day.
You know, I was thinking about it for a hot second, and I was just like, I don't know. But then to be able to get the Abathur on top of that is so powerful. We've seen gillyShark extremely well prowess within the Abathur play. With the Samuro as well, is going to be a lot of siege damage, and as well as just late game potential. It's going to be a little terrifying. Chen and Stukov and Falstad on the left hand side, though. They've got boss control with the Falstad. They've got point control. They can play these slower with the Stukov. And post 10, I mean, because there's only one talent. We don't go Storm, Earth, and Fire. We always go Wandering Keg.
We keg these.
we keg these. But this is definitely a map where we can get Wandering Keg. If Legacy's out there, I'm sure that they're sitting there shaking their head like Bahamut. I thought you knew. It's always Panda Pals. Realistically, the Storm, Earth, and Fire is so much stronger than Wandering Keg. But the zone control that you can get with it, we'll see if that's what they play into. But a Jaina ban here, I'm not too opposed to that. I think it's a really strong burst that would join the friendly team, and the poke from her would benefit them quite a bit.
Yeah, and it looks like Jaina gets banned out against Wholesome Halfwits pretty often on top of that. So not doing the speed run of Cursed Hollow that we saw come out from gillyShark in the past. The interesting note on Wandering Keg too, because you're right, over an objective in the style of Cursed Hollow can have a lot of value, but if you have, say, a Hinterlands Blast Falstad, that just entirely could potentially wreck that. So it's one of those things that you have to potentially consider the synergies with the rest of the team. I'm not surprised by the Tyrande. I'm not surprised by the Johanna, although Veggie's Diablo is exciting to see. Sad we're not going to see that, but this is pretty standard for gillyShark so far.
I like the shield glare right there for a little bit of blind on the enemy team for anyone who might be stepping forward. Falstad could go into auto attack build, so there's an option for that. Chen's going to be kicking in, so just mitigating a little bit more damage. But the other thing to note too is now that they've grabbed this Greymane, that's going to be a nice blind to deal with that Greymane a little bit. They do need technically something in the soul. Realistically, I think the members of gillyShark need a little more damage. Something like a Li Ming wouldn't be horrible. She's a great Abathur clone. Genji's an option too if they want to go a little dive heavy, but it's actually going to be the Junkrat. A lot of good poke damage coming out from them. That was, I think, the thing that they were lacking most in their draft currently was some poke damage during these shrines. That was the other reason why they banned out that Jaina. She has a really phenomenal poke. Falstad might be filling that department for that team, and Stukov's got a little bit themselves with the weighted pustule as well as the lurking arm. But between the two teams, I really, really love this draft. The Arthas isn't something we hit on. The Frozen Tempest being able to get the slow attack speed on the Samuro, that might be something that actually really stalls out some of those moments where Stark might be able to jump onto some of those members with that attack speed reduction. But we'll find out. We're going to be loading in here. And Cat Peach, overall, what are your thoughts on that draft?
So like I said, gillyShark draft, very, very gillyShark. One of the things coming into this match that I was looking at is that Wholesome Halfwits, the heroes that they've played so far in the season it's a grand number. They've played a lot more heroes than gillyShark has. And so I have this question of, when you're willing to play so many different heroes and aren't necessarily known one way or another for a specific draft style or specific set of heroes, either that's going to work in your favor to say the team's not going to know what we're throwing at them, so they have that advantage, or you also can say, well, because we play everything, nothing's really fine-tuned to the best of its ability. So I guess that's my big question mark going into this is Wholesome Halfwits, can they put together 5 heroes and play them as well without that kind of consistent play we see?
Well, we're going to have to find out here as we actually get into our game number 1. On the left-hand side, we got Wholesome Halfwits with this wonderful draft with this Falstead going to be played by Crooked Smile. Dr. CJ is going to be on the Arthas. Freckle Pants is going to be on the Stukov. We have Neutron's going to be on the Greymane, and Hysteria is going to be on that Chen.
And over in the red, we have gillyShark. We're going to see Kaimo Tripson playing Tyrande, Kage Kiri on the Abathur, Veggies will be on the Johanna, Stark playing his Samuro, and Chess Looter playing the Junkrat.
We go ahead and we jump into this mid lane, and it is going to be Gathering Storm for that Falstad. I really do like that. And we actually do have Way of Illusion for the Samuro. Not going to be going into the Way of the Blade, which is going to be having the auto attack, or not the auto attack, but the armor reduction. And the other thing to quickly note is just hello to everyone in chat. Thank you all for being here. We are just diving into this draft, and we are moving on through these Division A games very quickly, it seems. We're only in our first one, but that draft, I don't know, just sped right by, at least for me, and I'm ready to get in. I'm super pumped about these games.
These teams are super ready. They're just like, we know what we want to do.
And we're gonna try and keep an eye on Stark down in this bottom lane as much as, or at least onto this Samuro quite a bit, because this is where I think a lot of the flashy plays are going to be coming from. We'll rotate around the map as best as we can just to get an idea of what the other players are going to be doing here. But overall, so far the lane matchups seem like they're going to be pretty equal. Like Veggies, I mean, a Johanna as a solo laner isn't something that you typically see, but with an Abathur hat, that completely changes how quickly she can clear and what kind of pressure she can apply.
Yeah, and the other thing too is an Abathur against a Chen is really tricky on the Abathur side. Chen will just continue to push that lane in. So that's why we kind of see Stark hanging on there, assisting Kage Kiri, making sure that lane isn't lost, which is kind of creating this divide in a pretty non-traditional laning aspect. So Johanna on the top, we have Tyrande currently soloing mid against a Stukov, both teams grabbing their siege camps for the time being to get that additional push before this first objective spawns.
Yeah, so far both the teams, really good camp timings, really good rotations coming out from them as well, making sure that neither team is going to be missing out on any of the soak that's going to be coming in from each of these lanes, as well as also picking up camps and applying pressure. This Falstad actually going to be holding the siege camp on the top left because they do know that they have the first objective in their favor, at least lane wise for the siege giants, because it's going to be in bottom lane. So delaying out this siege giants a little bit pushes it later so that clear might not happen until way later in the game. But at the same time, it's going to take them a while to get into the lane, so you're going to see Arthas going ahead and grabbing that really, really quickly. And also, Bruiser camp in mid lane going to be cleared out. They could back off and get their own, but we should have the announcement for the objective in about 5 seconds, so they'll have to do it quickly, or they'll just have to go into the wave clear and just make sure they're getting the experience here.
Yeah, and this starts now we can think about the question, what's most worthwhile for either of these teams in terms of this first objective? Like, do either of these teams really just want to sit in their lanes, try to get a little bit ahead in experience while giving up the first tribute, and what the plan is there? I can totally see Stark just staying on the bottom, saying, I'm gonna push, let's give him the objective. At the same time, Falstad speaks to that as well, just saying, I want to push this out as far as possible. I also have that global, so I can zoom down whenever I see fit. We're going to see Falstad returning up top. The objective is here. So far, we have the zoning coming out from Wholesome Halfwit, so it looks like they're going to start getting the channel. There's the owl from Tyrande to stall.
One stall so far. They do have Samuro kind of rotating around. Nice Lunar Flare as well for another stall. Doctor is going to be sitting over here, going to get a Howling Blast onto one. That's going to be false with a flank onto a couple others as well. We have Veggies trying to jump in here with the Condemned, trying to control this fight a little bit, but they're getting a little bit low as well. Chymotrypsin trying to make their way around, but that's going to be false at least pulled away. Samuro clones will be going down around the objective, as that will be Dr. CJ trying to step forward onto Chymotrypsin, but seems like that's just going to be a little bit of a back off right there. Meanwhile, this is actually everything that they want on the side of gillyShark, because of the fact that Abathur will be able to push up the top lane and just continue to soak up. This is the quintessential way that you want to play an Abathur composition. You don't want to be trying to you don't want to win this fight. You're not, and you don't want them to grab the objective. You just want to sit here and delay this out, as Greymane will be getting hit by one of the grenades right there. And now look at the wraparound from Stark right now. It doesn't seem like they have an end. Oh wow, just gonna thread the needle with that Sentinel from Chymotrypsin. Lunar Flare gonna be coming out once again. But as I said, they're delaying this out. They're getting a lot of good experience in their favor. You can see them, they've already hit level 7 over the enemy team. That's going to be the Concussion Mine getting Hysteria right away from them. And I think Crooked Smile might have this, unless, yeah, that's gonna be, they can't snipe that twice, and that, no, so far they're going to be delaying it out, Capeach. I can't believe this is still happening.
Looter's got the grenades, so
True.
as long as you make them connect at the very last second, which it's actually kind of stressful. Chess Looter, though, stepping a little bit too far, ends up getting killed off by Greymane, so the first tribute finally going over. And even though gillyShark got 7 during that tribute, I was noticing Veggie is really low on mana, trying to do what they can using those shield glares to stall things out, but they just couldn't get the engagement that they wanted with that level advantage. First tribute, not a big deal. Plenty of tributes to go around for the rest of the game, so I don't think gillyShark is sweating that too much just yet.
We have hit our 5-minute mark, which also means that the boss is going to be up and available. You can see that on the map, and they're going to be trying to step forward in this mid lane right now. Greymane's going to siege in extremely well. Arthas has a great is a great anchor in that right, and then you're also going to have Stukov with some great healing to spread that posture around. We do have this objective popping up. We have Kage throwing out a few of these mines right there, but Crooked Smile is like, no, that's not happening. You're not going to get any vision from that. And speaking of vision, we can actually throw the vision over to the members of gillyShark right now, and we can see they know that Freckle Pants is on that point, and that's really all they're showing. They do, I think they had some vision of that Chen in bottom lane, and they're catching a few glimpses of a couple other players around this point, but this is going to be one Sentinel for the stall for now. We have Greymane just kind of auto-attacking and backing off right now as they need to kind of regroup. They're a little bit split on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. We'll see if gillyShark's going to be able to delay this one out, as they are currently. It's going to be also False Stag clearing mid, and we can see Samuro in bottom lane. Abada, we're starting to get a bit of a level lead in favor for gillyShark. Let's see if they can grab it here, Catpeach.
Yeah, they're trying to see if they can get 10 and then really force into this engagement. For the time, they're just keeping Kymo with those owls being able to poke, but the separation is there. The rest of Wholesome Halfwits doing a really good job. The owl eaten by Greymane, so the channel could complete. So we're now 2-0 in tributes in favor of Wholesome Halfwits. So this is where they can take some breathing room, right? We have those bosses on the table. If they want to give up a tribute to get that boss pressure going, they have that as an option. gillyShark's still playing, they'll have 10, but something that they're gonna have to keep in mind going into the next objective, because it really means a lot for them. If they end up losing it out, it makes Abathur's job a little bit more difficult if he doesn't have those forts to hide behind. So there's a lot of factors here, but Sam trying to go in, the clone gets caught out, killed by the fort, but trying to get that Chen very close.
Stepping up onto that Chen is risky, but at the same time, it's been getting them a lot of value. Really quickly, you can see that Sentinel coming through, and they have that vision onto Crooked Smile. They know that there's one player on that currently working on that camp. They don't have any sort of wingman to kind of pick up those stacks easily and just kind of and bribe it through. They also, speaking of stacks, only 9 stacks are on that Gathering a Storm. That Falstad hasn't really been engaging into a lot of enemies, so it's kind of hard to stack that up. They do have a really, really good build so far coming out from, I would say, just every player right now. I'm just skimming through a lot of the builds, and they're so synergistic, and they're working out really well for all of them. But 10 talents here for both sides. We'll pull away the talents, and let's see what they do around this point, because the members of gillyShark do not want to allow all this pressure across the map to be coming in here. They need to deny this curse. That will be the Riptide coming out, as well as oh my god, the Gust. I wanted Hinterland's Blast so bad right there, but Riptide is going to be forcing a couple members away. Neurons is a little bit low, but they're going to be able to get the Razor Swipe right out of there. Flailing Swipe going to be coming out from Stukov, denying a little bit, but that's going to be Arthas a little bit low here as well. There's no Gust to save them once again, and that's going to be Arthas going down. They will pick up a couple stacks on that Frost presence at level 1, but Chymotrypsin should be able to grab this. Crooked Smile maybe going to throw out one Hammering. Concussion Mine, but it's a little too late. Chymotrypsin goes to the other side, and they might try and cycle these out. No, I think they're going to give this over. Bottom lane boss was cleared out, did get a little bit of damage right there, but this is the reason. I mean, mid lane had a bruiser camp, top lane had a siege camp. If they would have gotten cursed on the side of gillyShark, that would have been a rough time. But Stark, going to be chasing this Greymane, and then now they're just like, all right, I need to leave. I think I pressured too much.
even with an Abathur hat, Samuro isn't invincible necessarily. So backing off there, but good pressure coming out there as well. Looking across the map, gillyShark boss is up if they want to grab that, but it's not really necessarily a good opportunity at the moment. But we see the members rotating. Arthas looking like they were checking the status of that up there.
Ooh. They're just going to be, yeah, I think they were trying to get an idea of maybe if gillyShark was going for this. Really quickly as well, Ziltoid, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate that. Welcome everyone from Ziltoid stream. We got a lot of good games for you tonight. Thanks for being here. Alrighty. We are going to be having another curse point popping up, and it's going to be in the center bottom here. We have the 30 seconds announcement. We are going to be having one of the Samuro clones being Hearth back, and they'll swap to that real clone, so that way they just save a little bit of time. They can stay in lane and get a little extra soak right there. Little features, if you will, for Samuro, as this is going to be curse up, and we have pretty much every heroic up except for Go for the Throat. That's the only thing that they won't have utilized immediately, but it's going to be like a second or two off from the objective. But they're going to try and dive onto one. Concussion Mine going out into a few. Look at this silence as well. That's going to be a huge lunar flare as well. They're actually going to keep veggies alive very effectively here, and they'll be able to back off. And oh, hold on, the Riptide to chase in. Neurons, oh my god, the Blessed Shield as well. If they could get onto Crooked Smile, that'll be huge right there. But the blinds come out. Arthas will be going down. Meanwhile, jumping down to the objective, it looks like Samuro's going to be trying to go for the channel onto this. There will be a Chen, or at least there was a Chen, but Cat Peach, that's huge for gillyShark to be able to pick that up and deny it once again.
Yeah, that was an excellent isolation with the Riptire from Chest Looter. I saw the Blessed Shield come out from Johanna, was like, okay, here's the stall. And then just the Riptire comes out, Arthas picked off, and so that puts gillyShark in a really good spot to grab that tribute. And all of a sudden, we're tied up 2-2 here, so it's anyone's game. We still have all forts on the map still as well, so getting this late into this game for the first tribute means that these curse pushes from either side, I think, are going to go well. They both have excellent siege potential in terms of team composition. You have the Greymane and the False Side on one side, but you have, the Samuro and even the Junkrat on the other. So both sides are going to get a lot of value depending on who gets this next tribute. So, question is, who's going to get it? And I don't really know.
Oh, yeah, they will go ahead and grab a Bruiser Camp on the side of gillyShark. It looks like we are going to be having that Chen rotating up here, but Stark was trying to go for the pick onto the Panda right there, swapping off. One of the Abathur hat's still on the clone right there. They're just going to take a little bit of damage, also have to drink a little bit, but that slows them in their rotation to this point, and now they're going to be needing to engage onto this, and Stark is in a sort of flank position. They do have that Abathur clone up and available as well if they want to go into that. Let's see what they do. Actually, they go for the double clone. That's going to be the Blessed Shield as well. Riptide coming out from Junkrat. So much damage going out, and Greymane first goes down. That will be Storm, Earth, and Fire coming out from the Chen. And Kage on this clone of Samuro is going to be stepping forward onto Freckle Pants as well. And they're going to try and get the burst, if you will, from a Samuro, but they're still finding themselves battling into the Arthas, and Stukov will be going down right there from a huge pickoff from Stark. That is going to be Chen taking a decent amount of damage. And look at this pressure now coming in from gillyShark. Looks like also they're going to be having Kage going ahead and burrow tunneling up to this point, so that way the friendly team can still chase in further. And Chest Looter have found themselves a bird, but they managed to not get away. Wow.
When you think you get out, and then a clone just shows up right next to you, and you're like, oh no, oh my. But that fight was excellent on the side of gillyShark. We saw kind of the same, neutrons, the hop over the wall now that the turrets are disabled. Great value. But just the focus on making sure, the problem with Arthas, right, is always that once he's in the team fight, getting out is really hard, and so using the Riptire to make sure he is still on the front lines even after he tries to escape is setting gillyShark up really well to get that damage out and to get those kills out. And then on top, you have Kagekiri with that Samuro extra clone onto Freckle Pants, making sure that the support can't get in to help Arthas. It just sets things up so well. And this is turning not quite into the speed run, but this is looking pretty devastating for Wholesome Halfwits right now.
We're going to be seeing the Arthas try and get back into the Nexus. They will be able to do that. Freckle Pants is trying to get out as well, and they've managed to get back into the Nexus, I guess you could say. But it looks like we're going to be having double Samuro clones once again onto this core, and that is going to be game number 1 going over to the members of gillyShark. GG. Well played. There we go. Slow
So-
but effective, yeah.
13 minutes this time around. And, you're asking why Samuro got let through. I was thinking maybe Wholesome Halfwits thought they had the plan. Say, we're not too concerned about the Samuro. We know how to counter it. But gillyShark dominating pretty well, not just in the macro sense, but in the team fight sense as well. Really holding their own.
That was a very good game. I don't think we see Samuro come through in game number 2.
No, absolutely not.
32,000 in hero damage, beating the friendly player out by roughly 700 hero damage. Actually, less than 700 hero damage. So, Samuro difficult. Also, Shadonis, thank you for the host. I appreciate that, my friend. Dang, that Samuro play. Well done, Stark. I agree. All right, well, we actually know what map we have and everything, too, so let's go ahead and get set up for that. We'll show talents really quickly, and then we'll jump over to getting set up for our game number 2. But overall, Cat Peach, would you... What do you do if you're on the side of Wholesome Halfwits at this point? You got pushed in quite hard by a Samuro. Do you try and play it slower? What do you do?
So one, as much as we joke about like don't ban the Samuro, like it's not that big of a deal. I would say just default to what everyone else in the division does against gillyShark. Take out that Samuro. Something like an Arthas sometimes gets a little tricky, and I'm not sure I would want to see it in game number 2 either. But it's not like there was anything very obvious on the side of Wholesome Halfwits that I would say this is wrong or this composition was, not the greatest, right? It was all fairly solid. But I think it goes back to, the issues with having just the breadth of heroes and rather the depth of heroes necessarily. So they can throw as much as they want at this problem, but I think if they go try to find at least what those comforts are, I know they're really comfortable specifically with that Sukhov. I think also potentially Rexar I saw in their statistics is a fairly high hero, so maybe just pulling something out that you're just so confident in into this next game.
I really, really like the idea of a Rexar coming out onto our next map here, because I think it's going to work out really good. I think both teams actually play the Rexar, so that might be something we see a contest over for the solo lane. But overall, I think I like it. I like it a lot, though. I wonder if Wholesome Halfwits are able to kind of take that game 1 and just be like, all right, that's how they play this game, and now we know their play style, and we can maybe respond to it. Because that's what I would hope. They were very adamant about our map pick right here, so we'll because they were like they instantly shot it over, no doubt in their mind about it seems. So I'm excited about this, but let me double check that the teams are ready, and we'll get going into our game number 2 here in just a moment. I'm super excited about this. We actually got the readies already, so
they are pumped.
Yeah.
And Molly kind of play into this a bit. The other kind of contested hero between these two teams is the Tyrande. It's the one of 2 top supports on the side of Wholesome Halfwits above Ana, and so if they want to take the Tyrande off the table, get that out of Kaimo Tripson's hands, I think that's a really good play as well, because she is just so powerful at helping to chunk down those frontline heroes. Things like the Shadow Stalk in team fights is so effective, as well as the Lunar Flares for that vision, for that map presence sense. So another option they might want to consider.
Well, we'll see if we get into a game number 3. That's I think the big thing right now, and we're gonna be seeing if Wholesome Halfwits can take us to game number 3. We're gonna be going into Infernal Shrines here, and I know Ektar literally just left, but for Ektar, for anyone who's wondering how we got here, don't worry, I got you. We are going to be having the members of Wholesome Halfwits win the coin flip. That is right, gillyShark once again lost the coin flip. Way to go, Kaimo Tripson. They will ban out Sky Temple and Towers of Doom, and they opted for first pick in game number 1. Braxis Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity were banned out, by the members of gillyShark. Cursed Hollow was the first map chosen by gillyShark and won by them. Infernal Shrines will be game number 2, or map number 2, chosen by the members of Wholesome Halfwits, and that will be Infernal Shrines. And for anyone... Everyone is very upset that there's no bandit cam, so we'll just replace my camera with bandit cam afterwards.
I'm sorry, guys. I've ruined it.
It's all right. It's all right. I'll swap out my camera. I think that's gonna be an easier solution right there. But...
Oh no, please. I put my life down on the line for Bandito, so it's okay.
He's such a good boy. But we'll get into this. Thank you all so much for joining, and we really do appreciate you all being here. And thanks for watching and supporting such amazing teams in such a great league. We do see the Medivh being banned out on the left-hand side. Do they ban out the Samuro here? Are they going to be... This is like... They're banning out Rexxar!
Okay, so that's off the table. So is this... Okay, so... One thing I was thinking was the contestant of Sylvanas in this strat, because Kagekiri plays Sylvanas. She's great on this map. It's also, it has been played by Wholesome Halfwits, and so I was wondering which side we're going to see that. But Samuro yet again let through. If this is not a Tyrande pickup here with that Johanna, I'm going to be very upset with Wholesome Halfwits, because I think you just need to take that out. But they are playing to the crowd, Bahamut.
You play the boy. You play the boy and you win these. Azmodan extremely strong in a rotation heavy based map, and I think this is where we could see him get some value here. I'm happy. This is all I care about. The rest of the draft is just whatever. Diablo and Jaina will be picked up on the right hand side. Abathur cloning the Jaina is really powerful. Abathur cloning Diablo is also very powerful. So really good clone targets so far. Catpeach, do you think this is like I hate putting so much pressure onto it, but it's do you think this is the Samuro ban?
I mean, I feel like if you haven't done it yet, go with the Zeratul. So it's not, but I also feel like not having it picked up so far on gillyShark is just saying we don't even plan on taking it anyway.
I wonder if that is going to be the case.
Which would also be very surprising.
But this is going to be the Sylvanas banned out by the members of gillyShark, so they do at least respect that right, that they have a player that is going to be extremely powerful on that hero. Whether or not they want to pair them to the Azmodan or not is up to them. Speaking of the Azmodan, they are going to need something in the wave clear department for the rotations between the lanes. Chen's will be the solo lane for now. They could pick up their support, or okay, so it's going to be their support. So they're going to be waiting to see what they get for Shrine clear, and I wonder if maybe they have a priority Kael'thas, Kel'Thuzad, Gul'dan, maybe one of those is the hero they're looking at, but they want to find out what these last two picks are to see what kind of chain value if they're going Kel'Thuzad, what kind of chain bomb value you get if you're Kael'thas, or just if you want that echo corruption from members maybe grouping up from an Alexstrasza healing circle. They could go solo support Abathur, it's possible, but typically we see the members of gillyShark going in for that Tyrande, as well as something in the wave clear. Oh, so there's the Alexstrasza, but an Illidan will be picked up here. Oh, Catpeach.
A hatted Illidan is one of those things that makes me want to rage quit this game. So if I were on Wholesome Halfwits, I would just be like, okay, that's how this is going. That's how this is going. But you do have a lot of heal output from Anduin, especially past level 10 when he has the last Word Salvation. That negates a lot of damage, heals up the team. I was thinking actually maybe the Gul'dan. I'm glad to see that come through.
Yeah.
Kind of curious. I guess you have, auto attack coming out from Chen in some capacity, but Azmodan and the Gul'dan, like the double mage, pseudo mage, I guess in the sense for Azmodan is a curious concept, but they are going to have clear to the wazoo around those shrines.
That is going to be a big thing to note as well, and that was one of the things that I was hitting on as well before we started into this. It's going to be the Alexstrasza. If they pick that up, the Gul'dan is going to be really powerful into that because of the fact that Gul'dan is able to just throw that corruption on anyone who steps into that circle. I'm currently just getting the camera set up properly, so let's go ahead and just make sure that the camera's there. We go. Actually, I can double up. Well, I'll just have Bandit right behind me. I think this is the fair trade for stream. We'll just have Bandit background for me. I think that is the best trade that we could have right now for the stream. And it's gonna be oh god, I wish you didn't have to deal with the delay, but stream will appreciate it.
I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait.
He's just right there. Hold on. There you go. There's his nose. This is why you come to my stream, for this quality production. Thank you all so much for hanging out and joining us. We are currently loading into our game number 2 between the members of Wholesome Halfwits versus gillyShark. This is a Division A matchup, and we're just about to get into Infernal Shrines. As I said, thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. If you want to hit the exclamation point co-caster in Twitch chat, it'll give you all the information to follow Catpeach, because she's a wonderful caster, and she's going to be joining us all evening. Let's get into it. Wrong button. I hit the wrong button.
You got this. I believe in you.
I've done this on my stream deck so many times. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Wholesome Halfwits trying to take us to game 3. Crooked Smile going to be on the boy Asmodan. Dr. CJ going to be on the... I think it's actually C Jelly is going to be on the Joanna. We're going to be having Hysteria going to be on the Chen. Freckle Pants going to be on the Anduin. And Neuron's going to be on the... Neutron's going to be on the Ghoul Dan.
And over in the red, we have gillyShark. We're going to see Kaimo Tripson on the Alex Straza, Chess Looter playing Jaina, Veggies on Diablo, Stark on the Illidan, and Kage Kiri on the Slug Boy, Abathur himself.
Oh, this just Pajama Abathur. Can we just talk about that really quick?
So cozy.
And I love that he's got little different, he's got choo-choo trains. For his Locust instead of just the standard. Anyways, let's actually focus in onto our mid lane where the fun is going to be taking place. And this is going to be a Gluttony. No, not Gluttony. A Greed? Yes, Greed. I was just like, I'd never take it. What is this red talent that we see on this Asmodan? But we are going to be seeing the Greed here, so we'll see what kind of value that is going to be getting for the friendly team. Otherwise, we are going to be seeing the Echo Corruption for the Gul'dan, and we don't have the I think it's Abundance at level 1 for the Alex Straza for that questing talent for the regeneration globes. Just going to be going into the standard Live and Let Live, and Jaina will be also having the Fingers of Frost, but a little bit of damage or a little bit of pressure being put onto this Gul'dan right now as Illidan looks like they're going to be going to the solo lane into Hysteria, but doing a little bit of double duty in the soaking as well. And they have to kind of make up for it. They've only got 3 members for the rotations versus the 4 on the opposing side, which will be faster and more effective. And obviously they want to stack up that Asmodan, but look at Veggie's posturing here, Cat Beach. Just so aggressive.
Is so absolutely in your face all the time. And it's really been interesting to hear from gillyShark how they've been adapting to how Veggies plays versus how Jinxie Cat usually plays Diablo, because she can get aggressive as well. But Veggies you just see like 300 miles away, and it's like, hey guys, I'm gonna target over here. So it's been something that the team has been working on. I'm very curious to see how it goes in this match, because I've seen it a couple days ago, and I think I was yelling, you were actually casting it, I was saying that Veggies makes Diablo look like a super high mobility hero, just in the way of how deep he goes in with the shadow charges. So just gonna have to be careful until you get those souls stacked up.
Speaking of souls, Chen is going to be going down right there. That Panda is going to be able to drink in heaven for a little bit, as they will be out for the next 12 seconds. And this is going to be a bottom lane rotation for the siege camp down here. Kaimo Tripson will be able to scout that out. You can see them going to use that flame buffet right there just to get vision. And do they try and step in? No, I think it's just going to be them trying to get a little initial damage on the wave, as well as getting Chest Looter stacked up on that frostbite at that baseline, because having that ice block is going to be so detrimental into the late game, especially when you have Horrify situations. I doubt we see Reign of Destruction here. You never know. I mean, I saw Reign of Destruction last night, and I was very, very surprised. I saw Reign of Destruction last night. There was like,
Did it hit anything?
I think so, because I think they had a Warden's Cage around it as well. I have to go back. Like, somebody actually clipped it really, really good. It was a Tomb of the Spider Queen game, but it was it was really, really cool to see them pull out the Reign of Destruction. And there was actually a judgment on the opposing side, Tyrael, but we can talk about all that later, as we do have our first Punisher popping up here in top lane, and is going to be a Frozen Punisher at that.
And gillyShark not even necessarily going to respond. They're going to counter by pushing into this bottom lane, so getting some structural damage ahead of even a Punisher being on the field. So it's a strategy, right? If you think that you can get equal to or more siege potential in a different lane by just giving up the Punisher, you go ahead and do it. And with, Illidan, that's what he traditionally excels at. And so putting 3 members of Gilly into this bottom lane to make this happen is a very interesting choice. They have that level 7, they're going to back away. They've nearly gotten this fort taken out. Curious is what I'll say there.
Indeed, just so very curious. But it is going to be a small level lead over the opposing team, as well as some experience advantage on top of that, pushing them into the 7s. But they are going to be forfeiting this Arcane Punisher into the top lane. It's going to be barreling on through here, and they should be able to bait it right over the wall. This is still going to be Illidan and Chen going to be just battling out in the bottom lane, but we'll keep an eye on that one in a minute here, because we'll see if there's any major value with this Punisher. Asmodan is going to be rotating into bottom as well. Hold on, we have to check out this bottom lane, because currently Stark is 2v1ing. I mean, they have an Abathur hat, and they're doing their best to just auto and live, and they've got this healing out from oh my god, are they really about to take down Crooked Smile? There's no way. Okay, Punisher will go down. They get the front gate right there. They're going to try and maybe get some value, but no, they have to back off. And yeah, that was really, really close. I don't think that... I wasn't expecting them to be able to finish out that Asmodan. Just such a big health pool. Just such a big, chunky boy.
Sure. But let's look at the map right now. We had a Punisher on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. They got a wall and a little bit of fort damage. You look at the bottom, gillyShark, they got themselves a whole fort down with no Punisher. So that's something now that if you're Wholesome Halfwits, you have to say, okay, they're totally okay with conceding these objectives because they have the damage output to just wreck face on our structures without the assistance of a Punisher. So going into the second one, you have to start considering how many resources do you put into defending against some kind of push like that, or do you just put everyone into the objective so you can clear it as quickly as possible so you can get that Punisher push even sooner than you initially would.
This is going to be a little bit of a stagger from Chen right now. Does Stark go over the gate? Okay, they're going to go ahead and go right through the gate. They're going to be taking tower shots from all around. They had a little bit of evasion right there, and they back out right before they actually take any major damage. That's just, it's those Illidan plays like there, like that's the reason I'll never be a good Illidan, because I never take that harassment to the next level and diving over the gate and just trying to use my evasion to its fullest extent. But that's also going to be baiting Chen out a little bit here. They do have their 10 talent tier, and that's going to be the Hun point blank going to be used as they pick it up. Insta control 1, as that's going to be the Chen going down. They dive back over the wall. That should be Crooked Smile with the kill right there, I'd expect, and it's going to be a 1-for-1, and they pick up their 10s with that as well on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. Cat Peach, some aggression coming out here, but some very, very interesting plays, and oh my god, I don't even want to talk about that second heroic on our screen. We'll burn past that.
Oh yeah? Just Talk to me, friend.
Crooked Smile, how you about to do this to me? How you about to do this to me? How you about to pick the boy and then take my saltiest talents? Just No, it's not
like
that bad.
You had the brownie points, and then you found out that they're actually not chocolate brownies, they're made with like raisins.
Oh god, it'd be like oatmeal raisin brownies or something like that. Just like the worst that you could ever imagine, but this is going to be an invasion coming onto the camp that they were invading on the side. Light Bomb gonna be coming out, that will be the Dragon Queen from Alex Strauss as well. Horrify to separate a couple, Lightning Breath gonna be coming out from Veggie. Stark taking a lot of damage, Lifebinder does come out onto them, they continue to dive in. Hysteria gonna be the first one to go down, that Chen gonna be out of there. Crooked Smile trying to get some damage, that is a clone from Kage, as there's gonna be a second Illidan here, and they're trying to make their way out as they've lost their Joanna as well. That will be Gul'dan going down, they now refocused on to Crooked Smile. Illidan, the main one, the real one, will go down, and I think the clone is out as well. Dunk's going out into Veggies, who does have full stacks, I do believe, but they need to try and get out. But they got the hat from Kage, and they'll be fine. A 3-for-1 trade that entire time. 4-for-1 trade? No, 3, because they didn't take down the Anduin.
You know your tank's in trouble when your support starts to body block on their behalf. You saw Kaimo just get right behind Veggies after the Avatar hat went, just to make sure that those souls weren't expended here prior to them being able to start working on this tribute. But the members of Wholesome Halfwits are out. Damage coming out. There's the light bomb coming out. There's the kill onto Jaina. Now focus is onto Veggies. The blind is there. Ace is trying their best to go in, but the rest of gillyShark is going to disengage. So the catch up now on Shrines happening for Wholesome Halfwits, and they're making pretty good progress. I think gillyShark is going to give this up.
They're going to have to give over another Punisher here, and this will be the second one of the game, as they've just staggered out too many deaths, and they're just not on point, and they've got such quick wave clear in their favor on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. Now, they don't have 13 talent tier. They've actually managed to still secure themselves a talent tier above the enemy team on the side of gillyShark, but their siege potential is extremely high. Now, if they don't put this Asmodan in mid and they took that 10 talent tier, I will throw my mouse across the room. And that is exactly what's going to be happening, and I really wish I had a second mouse. Because they're going to be going into top lane, and Hunt from the Illidan going to be coming into the back lane. Kage with the clone as well. Horrify to separate them for a couple seconds. Asmodan going to be coming back down into mid. A dunk going out onto a few. That's going to be the double Illidan chasing in. That will be the laser coming out onto the clone right there. They're going to end that really quickly. Lightning Breath coming out. Nice leap of faith from the Anduin, as that will be the light bomb to give, I think, a little bit of speed over to Dr. C. Jelly. And with all that, they managed to just kind of disengage, back off, and the Punisher was still sieging in the entire time, while Stark did get the clear onto it. Kage will drop that mule, best talent in the game, and it will start working on the fort right there.
Let's start healing it right back up, and we already have that top fort healed up as well from earlier, so Abathur doing what Abathur does, just saying if you're not going to fully commit in taking out these structures, they're just going to regenerate health magically. So fun and interactive talents coming out from gillyShark. And I saw the demonic invasion come out during the team fight there in mid, which is an interesting choice for Crooked Smile. Hunt from Illidan comes out there on bottom. This is a massive push coming out from Wholesome Halfwits, and the burst onto Illidan just takes him out immediately as they come through. They know they need to take out this fort before the mule can really continue to heal it up, and they're able to get the conversion.
Looks like Joanna's the only hero prepared for the hunt, apparently, because that was like an Iron Skin just as the hunt came in, and it was just like, boop, nothing happened, and then they turned around and got a body onto that Illidan. I wish I had vision showing for Illidan at the time just to get an idea of what they were looking at. Maybe they couldn't see the rest of the members, and it was just a solo. It was such a weird hunt. I'm confused by it. I'm very confused by it, Cat Peach. But with that, we still have a level lead with the 5-5 in kills. We still have all of the... It's actually even in fort, excuse me. And I think it's just waiting for the next Punisher, which is going to be Arcane. Fun fact, I learned this from Twitch chat. I didn't know this, because I used to always have to wait till the announcement for the Punisher. You can hover over it with your mouse, and it will actually tell you inactive Arcane Shrine. I didn't know that.
That's fancy.
I'm
not going to do that because I'm afraid of losing caster vision.
Oh, right. I forgot about that fact. So, I guess in your own games, you can know that as well. But Stark in this top lane, once again, going to have a lot of damage. But that's going to be... Oh, the Blessed Shield came out as well. They wanted that kill.
So this is an interesting adaptation now, right? They're waiting to see where Stark goes. They wait, assume, or at least... set up a lane to say, hey, this is great for Illidan to push out here, hide in the bushes, and then come out and try to take him off the table. So that was a close second attempt there coming out from Wholesome Halfwits. I like that they're trying to play those games and assume where Illidan is going to be so they can quickly delete him off the map so they can feel a bit more free to cause pressure elsewhere in the lanes.
You can see right there, Stark just walking right behind the team and just trying to. I think they might know. I think they might have got some scout onto this when they saw Stark right there, and they had the right idea of the direction. But still, no 16 talent here for the enemies or for the friendly side, as we currently have their vision for that blue team, and they'll just throw out a couple. They'll throw out a dunk. They'll get a few more stacks off of that by hitting some heroes, and this will be our bottom lane Punisher popping up here fairly soon. Kage gonna get the clear into this mid lane. Won't need any help from the friendly team. Top's gonna be cleared out, and the nice thing with that is it wasn't so much picked up for the fact that they want to have top lane pressure. It was picked up to delay the enemy team from getting onto this point. That gives them priority in the positioning on this. You can already see Veggies going over the left-hand side. They'll have vision for the friendly team being able to step up on this point, and they're going to have the initiation for them as well, letting them know when they need to back off and all of that good information. And we'll actually see if they're going to be able to do more here. That's going to be the hunt going into one. That's going to be the light bomb actually being pushed back a little bit. There's a couple members being hit. That will be the life binder going out onto Kage, and that is going to be the real Illidan is going to be in a rough spot, as I think the life binder was meant for them, but they still auto attack and they're able to make it out. That is still also just everyone staying alive here, Cat Peach. No one's gone down just yet, but a lot of the heroics are just now ending, and we could be seeing a change in the fight.
Yeah, there are no heroics left on the table. Veggie's going in. Johanna is really low, starting to make the retreat. Stark gets onto Hysteria, though, trying to get the damage onto the Panda. The Contempt comes out to stall a little bit, but Johanna, I think, is going to go down for that, and there is the kill. Tank is gone, and all this while, gillyShark been taking out those skeletal defenders. We saw Stark kind of going between the team fight and the Punisher, but this chase is still on. Stark is going in, Veggie's coming in, gets the flip onto Hysteria. Gul'dan going to go down. There's the blind. Chen running in circles, just sets themselves up so well and will get taken out by the John Cena. Illidan will give their lives for the chase a little bit, but we still got a full health Punisher pushing down in this bottom lane, so I think that was a worthwhile trade. Absolutely. I think it was a really good disengagement with a couple members up there, and that keep just went ahead and targeted onto Stark, and they got that kill right there. But this is going to be a few members need to defend. Crooked Smile will have some good dunks out right there as well, and they have some decent defense. The death timers aren't insanely low, so they do have the possibility of the friendly members coming back for the full defense, but this is definitely... I keep going down into bottom lane, and I don't think this is going to be the game going down. You can even see gillyShark going to be backing off. It's just Cat Peach. This is
Such a fast-paced game for the members of gillyShark, but the members of Wholesome Halfwits, like, they're not too far behind in this game. I think they're scaling extremely well. We can actually highlight really quickly some of the stacks. The Gul'dan sitting at 26 out of the 40 Echo Corruption. You can see that once those are going to be finished, that's going to be a lot of good damage coming out from them. Asmodan sitting at 331 stacks on the Annihilation out of that 400, and I believe the 400 is going to give you some just extra damage. I wasn't sure. I was like, does it give you extra... A bigger reticle, but I think that's Pride at level 20. Once you finish out your stacks, that will give you the bigger reticle, as well as a few more. I think it's 100 extra damage on top of the 400 you already have. So a lot of buffs going to be coming out here for the members of Wholesome Halfwits as this game progresses. But they need to get to that point, and there is an end potential or an end game set up for the members of gillyShark through this bottom lane. I can feel the pressure from Wholesome Halfwits. It's just such a kind of turtle up and just wait for the Punisher and play around the objective phase. Next Punisher will be frozen, and it's going to be in a very well-defended lane, but that's going to be Stark diving into the top lane. Not Army of the Dead. That's going to be the... I can't even remember. Demonic Invasion. Light Bomb coming out as well. That's going to be the Lightning Breath. That's going to be the Life Binder onto Stark as well. Cat Peach, they are just living in all this damage.
Yeah, no fear, no worries. They're going in. They get the kill on 2. And I was gonna say, prior to this breaking out, Wholesome Halfwits probably going to play it safe, play it careful until they can possibly catch up on level 20. Not looking like the case. Start going yet again over the wall. The work is here to get this fort down, and I'm trying to think. There's another kill. I think they should just sidestep this keep entirely and go for core. The Chen is down. It's just one Johanna going through, and here is the push. Kaimo Tripson, though, is so incredibly low that going in here is going to be a little bit difficult. You see Alex Johnson trying to sneak by. She gets killed by the keep in the middle, but I think this might be GG anyway.
They're trying to make the defense right now. That's going to be the Hunt going out onto 1. They have the Apocalypse forward, or excuse me, the Hellgate forward. That's going to be the Ice Block from Chestlitter to make sure that they don't lose their KDA, and that will be game number 2 over to gillyShark. GG, well played.
I'm sorry, but
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was sitting here giggling. I was giggling to myself because of the fact that Linehouse just jumped into chat and goes, weird stat of the day, diving towers is not wise. And I'm just like, yeah, of course. Just Kaimo Tripson did get a little bodied right there. It's the Alex Straussler getting hit with the tower right there is much like Kaimo Tripson trying to win a coin flip.
Because I was just watching like a little bit up. And they put the healing circle down. They were trying to like mosey around a little bit and path in a certain way, and then just the one shot comes out. It's done. Oh man. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's out of my system.
All right, let's find out who we're gonna get for interview. I will lose you for camera, so
that's okay. Just put Bandit up.
I will have to do that. All right, let me get a message out to who wants.
Stark is currently in lobby 1.
All right, well, it's Stark then. Let me go ahead and I just got a message from Kaimo Tripson saying Stark is up for interview. So let me go ahead and just do one really quick thing before I lose you. Okay. Now we can jump into the lobby.
Okay.
Hello, Stark. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How you feeling, bud?
What's up?
Just sup.
I feel the need to just publicly apologize to Kaimo for game 2.
Oh?
Well, he said, all right, this is going to be great, Stark, as long as you feed less than you did the last time we did this. And, well, I actually died more times this game. So...
And you still won.
Well, yeah, but...
So let's go over to Cursed Hollow. Game number 1. We're gonna be seeing the Samuro let through. What are comms like when Samuro gets let through? Because from my understanding,
let's go to game 2.
Wow,
that's what we said.
The
okay,
confidence.
yeah, that's yeah. I mean, it definitely showed in game, but it was just. Was it like Christmas at that point for you as a player?
Veggies was very uneasy because if you guys are familiar with our playstyle, right? You look at that draft and you're like, huh, that's gillyShark. You remove the gillyShark from the top and you're like,
we literally
I know
said
this
that.
team.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Veggies was like, guys, this draft is awful.
Is this
And
the
we're like,
first time that Veggies
yeah.
has played with your
Yeah.
Samuro? Yeah.
Not Samuro, but that draft. He was like, guys, we have no damage. We have no, like, next to no wave clear. We got decent map control. What are we doing? And we were just like, I don't know.
we're
I
we're
said
just
after the
playing
game.
heroes.
I don't know why this works.
I will
But it
say this.
does.
I will say
So we
this.
did it.
Something to highlight, at least from that game, which I think you guys did really well, and I'm sure this is part of the tactic as well. You have an Abathur, and that first tribute point, you weren't trying to actually win that fight. It was very apparent.
Nope.
You could tell that you guys were just delaying that out to get full Abathur value. We saw Kage physically with the Abathur body midway through top lane, which allows them to body soak, and then you can hat the teammates as necessary during the fight, or you're just hatting lanes and body soaking top and mid. So it's just something that I wanted to point out was really, really well played to delay out that shrine, and I thought your draft actually lent into that delay, and it played into kind of the Abathur really well. So I don't know. That was the way that I saw it. But were you worried about any of their draft at all? Maybe potentially shutting down any of the heroes?
Chen was a worry for me at the start.
Okay.
Also, yeah, going back to that tribute. That tribute was like, if Chess didn't die there, that was perfect.
Okay.
And even then, it was still really good.
Mhm.
Because yeah, we never wanted that tribute. We just wanted to be like, you can have it when we say you can have it, and that was when Chess died. But yeah, I was worried about the Chen because I haven't, believe it or not, I didn't intend to play solo lane today, so that was a bit of a misplay on my part. But I've never solo laned against the new Chen as Samurai. And
what
I played some of the Chen, right? And the talent you go is the one with the theme song, right? Eye of the Tiger.
Yes.
So you can get in the zone.
I think it's like 50%
and
increased damage to soaked people.
Bruise soaked targets. Yeah.
Yes.
And he wants to get in there and hit them so he can heal up. So I'm in there as Samurai, right? And he soaks me with brew and he sets me on fire. So I press D and that's all gone. And then his level 1 talent doesn't exist. And I was like, oh, this is actually easy. So he got to the stage in that solo lane. I don't know if you were watching, but he was hiding behind his minions.
We might have caught that a little bit, but it was definitely something that I didn't highlight myself at all. It was just
yeah.
It was it was such a fun game too. Or game 1 and 2. Cat Peach, I don't want to. Oh my God, hoard all the Stark to myself. There we go.
Oh yeah, spread me around.
So Cat Peach, if you have any questions from the games, absolutely, please.
Yeah, so we were talking about kind of during the draft of game 1. This is your first season in Division A. And I think just from my interactions with you guys, there was a little bit of nerves involved with that. And you've gone 2-0 so far in all your series.
3-0 now.
3-0
Oh,
now.
yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, 2, yeah, that numbers.
Lossless. Lossless.
Are you feeling any more confident in your place in the division? Are you thinking that the worst is yet to come? How have the nerves adjusted?
I don't think we're that nervous anymore. Like we at the start of our season, we were like, right, we got promoted, we got a new player. It's just gonna be weird. And I think our expectations, one of us was top 8, mine was 9th, so we're not 10th because they're single digits still. Someone else said not last. Someone else said do better than the other teams that got promoted, and yeah, I think we've just surpassed those expectations already. So that's cool.
Is
I
there
don't feel
anyone
nervous anymore.
Yeah, is there anyone that you're facing later on in the season that you're kind of like, this might be rough, or are you just going into every matchup now saying, we think we got this?
Well, given how this matchup went, people forgot to ban Samurai.
Do you feel like it was do you feel like it was a confidence part on their part, or do you feel like it was just them not knowing that you guys
No,
play
I don't
this a
think
lot?
it was, because they said in the draft chat for game 1, let's not lose in 8 minutes. So I don't think it was. I think they just didn't know.
Well, they banned out the
But then
Zarya.
in game 2, they didn't ban it either. So
That's what I was curious
Yeah.
about. And you didn't pick it up in game number 2, so I'm you know just kind of assuming that this was the draft that you wanted once you knew you were going to Infernal Shrines. But was there a consideration of saying maybe we still pick it up anyway?
yeah, the correct pick was Samurai still. Because then I don't die 5 times and we win faster. But I wanted to play Illidan and we practiced it, so I don't know.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
it was the wrong pick.
On the note of practice, I mean, that's something that I think a lot of teams might be curious about themselves, or even people viewing. For a team to be this synergistic, because there was a lot of good communication coming out. There's a lot of, you could tell at least watching the games, and when you cast them, you can tell that people are communicating. The rotations are going to be there. I'm diving this, I'm diving that. Can you talk a little bit about, like, did gillySharks practice every day? Like, how do you guys prep to be kind of this well synergized as a team? Because it definitely, it's apparent in all the games that I've seen of you so far.
Step one, we try and get 5 people to show up at the same time.
Fair.
Which is actually very difficult.
Oh, no, very fair.
We struggle with that a lot, hence we found veggies. So now that's less of a problem. And then for us specifically, we've scheduled it out. So it's like, we do this, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours a week, 4 days a week, ideally. Because, I don't know, we want to, I guess. And then I think the most important thing that I've learned is we assign one thing per day that we want to do.
Okay.
So like last week or sometime we had a day where it's like, we want to do Illidan Abathur, and that's just all we did.
Oh, okay.
Or sometimes it's like Zergi says, hey, I want to learn Imperius. Or, I don't know, Kaimo says, I want to learn Support Murky.
Oh my god.
It's good. You heal yourself, you bubble in, you pick up the globe, and then you hope your team doesn't feed.
Yeah.
It's a thing. We practice it for about 3 weeks now. So we'll be bringing that next week.
Right.
But yeah, just make sure we focus up our practice on one thing. So we're not just showing up and playing games. Because that's
fair.
That's just something different. Like, because the 5, we have 8 people. The 5 people who show up, we're all still friends, and we can just show up and play the game.
Yeah.
But we're showing up with the purpose.
Fair.
And that's what we do, I guess.
I'd
feed my brains out on Illidan. See today.
Cat Peach, do you have any closing questions for Stark?
No, I think I'm good.
Alrighty, we'll
Stark.
start. Oh, go ahead.
Amazing.
No, seriously, it was seriously
a
so
great
much fun.
set. Yeah, and very well played, and good luck with your next match. I know you guys have a whole bunch coming up. So
Next week.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
I can put 1 Samuro in each series, I think.
You can play them all at once.
3, right? In 3 series, so I can do 1 in one game, 1 in the other, and just hope that the clones don't suck. I guess that's the game plan.
Before we let you go, Stark, any shoutouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours.
Shout out to Gilly, who was buzzing my phone in the middle of this interview.
Gilly?
Hi.
Hi, Gilly.
Hi, Gilly.
Shout out to not banning Samuro. Shout out to not picking it in game 2. That was bad. I need to work on that. What else? Oh yeah, the team. Yeah, they're good. Shout out to them. They played well. Shout out to Kaimo's Lifebinder on the Illidan clone and me still somehow surviving anyway.
Yep. We saw that.
Yeah. What else did we do? Some other stuff happened, probably. Shout out to Wholesome Halfwits for doing their research mostly well. They clearly saw our Cursed Hollow game. I think they banned Zarya, right? So
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everything was perfect except for not banning Samurai. So well played there. You guys did good. Shout out to YouTube for casting. Bandit here. Now we got Cat Peach for a co-caster. Oh. Well,
I've turned into
pass my
Bandit.
shout out along to Bandit.
I will definitely do that. But thank you so much, Stark. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for the games, and I can't wait to see
Shout
you
out
guys.
to the people I forgot.
Oh, sorry to cut you off there.
There you go. So the people I forgot, you're included as well. So I think that's now the planet.
There you go. You're welcome, Planet. But thank you so much for the interview.
Best
Thank you so
planet
much for
I've
the
been
games. We'll catch you next week, and I'll at least have 2 of your 3 games next week. So we'll catch you then. But have a great night, and I look forward to the games.